Okay, so I want to give you a clear outline of things that I expect you to know for the first exam. Cool?
How specific you were there. Does that mean you're not going to give us a clear outline for the second?
Yes. I'm not now going to give you an outline for
Not
the
now,
second.
but either way. Continue.
I might possibly give you an outline for the second exam when that's coming up. You all have access to this thing, which is on Canvas. This is just a list of stuff that I expect you to learn by the end of the class, sort of in my own shorthand for the most part. Some of those things are not necessarily comprehensible because we haven't learned them yet. Okay, so let me tell you the things that are on here that I expect you to know for the first exam. I expect you to know this little picture. Here's an angle theta and a point, and then this guy. What is this thing driving at?
Unit circle.
Yeah, this is driving at unit circle definitions for the sine, cosine, and tangent function. Okay, so sine, cosine, tangent in a unit circle. Okay, cool, yes. Also on here are the 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90 triangles. Those I expect you to have fully memorized, right? There's videos if you forgot. Okay, so this will get you the standard angles throughout a unit circle. I'm not ever going to ask you to fill out a whole unit circle again like you had to before, but I may ask you for bits and chunks of it. You should be able to get those out of these two pieces of information and kind of maybe a little general knowledge of how the unit circle works. Cool? All right, let's see. So also things I expect you to know are this. SOHCAHTOA. What's that about?
Oh, no, that's just where the things go for each thing.
Yeah, this is just a mnemonic device so you can remember that the sine of an angle, right, is the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse in a right triangle with that angle as your kind of reference point, right? So on with the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse and tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. I expect you to be able to use that and these pieces of information to get sine, cosine, and tangent for all the standard angles. You guys cool with that? Okay, so all those questions, like, for instance, what's the sine of 45 degrees, right? To get that, you would presumably do this and that. Right? Yeah? If I asked you what the cosine of 135 degrees was, what would you need to do? You need to look at the unit circle first, find a reference angle, and then look at the 45-degree triangle and the SOHCAHTOA idea. Cool? So putting these together a little bit is something I expect you to be able to do. I want you to be able to turn degrees into radians. And also radians into degrees. So you should be able to make that interchange. Does anybody want to tell me the conversion factor for that? 180 equals 180. Perfect. Pi over 180 degrees or 180 degrees over pi. And hilariously, these are the same thing. Okay. Why are those the same thing? Yeah, because those are both one, right? They're really both the idea of halfway around the circle. Let's go with that. All right, let's see. I expect you to be able to define radian. What I mean by that is if I tell you something about the radius of a circle and an angle, I expect you to be able to tell me how far along the outside edge that is. Walking. think that's this. Theta times the radius is the arc length. What? Pretty sure that's how we did that. Here's theta, here's the radius. This length is s. No, not the area.
No, I was referencing something else.
Okay. Yeah, there's another formula using this for area. We haven't talked about it, and we'll talk about it later. You guys okay with that? Maybe? That one bears some review, possibly? Okay, cool. We'll review. Let's see, what else? Maybe two more things. Okay, next thing. I expect you to know the idea of the Pythagorean theorem. Yes? Hopefully this is an Algebra 2 thing. You'll remember this thing? Yeah, if you have a right triangle, then a squared plus b squared is c squared, right? Okay. There's a consequence of that we haven't talked about, which is that sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is 1. Yeah, this thing's called the Pythagorean identity sometimes. Why does this work?
Fucking magic.
Magic. Cool. We'll come back to why that works, but I expect you to be able to know this. And one more. Sum of angles. Cool. That's what I expect you to know for the first exam. What's the sum of angles? The thing we did yesterday. Yeah. So I expect you to have that in your head, be able to write it down, and then maybe be able to apply it to easy examples. Cool. Questions, things? Anything else on this? When is the exam? Next Wednesday in class.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. 1 week from today. Let me write that down on the board so you all can't claim not to know this.
No one saw this?
Exam? Panic? Okay. Next Wednesday, which would be 9/28. Perfect. At 9:40 a.m. Here. I don't know the room number. Sugar Pine 126. Any other questions on this?